Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Let me put this away. I am making pozole. Pozole is a soup. It's not a Puerto Rican. It's more Mexican. And it's a soup made out of hominy, which is like a really big corn. But I'll let you know exactly what I'm gonna need for this. But first off, in here I have one breast of chicken, one chicken breast, which I had with bone in. I try to remove most of the skin. And what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna start cooking this chicken in water. So I'm adding, right there I'm gonna add around about 4 cups of water, give or take. And in here, this is, something is super simple what I'm doing. But what I'm going to do here is that I'm making kind of like a stock. And in this stock that I'm making, I am using a few items which I'm taking out as we go. So for starters, we are going to take in this stock pot, we are going to take just one little onion that I have. I'm just simply going to cut the little end out of it, and I'm just going to cut it in half. Just like this. And I'm putting it directly in there. I'm also going to add a few of these baby carrots that I have. And I have some cilantro. And I'm just going to do a rough little chop, and I'm just going to shove it in there. Just like this. In here, in this stock pot, I am going to add a little bit of oregano from my mama's garden. Just a little bit, not a lot. I'm also going to add some black pepper. And I'm going to add some comino. This is only because I needed to start flavoring the chicken. I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne. Not a lot, just a little touch for a little bit of spice. And aside from that, I am going to add a little bit of kosher salt. Remember, we need to flavor this broth. It's just like that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take this and bring it to a boil just as is. If you have celery, add celery to this. But I will be adding some chicken stock that I do have in the refrigerator that I did do with celery. But for starters, we're going to do this. And we're going to put this into my heat. Again, until the chicken is cooked. It's going to come to a boil and all that. But in the meantime, I do want to show you. I am using 1 can of this hominy or mote blanco. This one is 1 pound 13 ounces. But I'm also using, and I'm cheating a little bit, because I found these at the supermarket, and this is not the same thing, but it is. This is jumbo corn kernels. It's not the same thing, but it's almost the same thing, and I love the texture that this gives it. So I'm going to be using some of this and with this and a couple of other ingredients, but I'll show you that as we go. For now, we're just going to allow the chicken to start cooking. I am going to add a little bit of chicken base to this, maybe about a tablespoon of chicken base to my, about a tablespoon of the chicken base to my chicken, and allow that to start cooking, excuse me, for a little while. As soon as the chicken is cooked all the way, I will show you guys the next step. Okay, so one of the things that I do is that I make a chili oil. So I have here some chiles de árbol, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take these chiles, right, as you see them, and I'm going to fry them. Yes, you heard me correctly. I'm going to fry them. I am going to use some extra light tasting olive oil. Okay, Let's see, is this good enough? It's a little bit more oil because I save it. This is something that lasts a long time. So one of the things I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna set this up in a. Let me just add a couple of more chilies in there. I am going to set this up over high heat to start it, and I'm gonna let it start to fry. I'll show you as I go. Okay, so in my pot here I have my oil and my chiles, and I'm gonna start them until they start to, you're gonna see them start to bubble, and I'm gonna get ready a clove or two of garlic because I kind of like adding garlic to this. So I'm gonna add about 2 cloves of garlic straight up. Once it starts heating up, you see it's already gonna start bubbling, and you can actually see it start to bubble. So I'm going to add my garlic. Now I want you to understand, once it starts cooking, the fumes are really strong, so please be careful because it might make you cough and all that fun stuff. So you want to keep an eye on it. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to cook these until they're gonna change color. Right now you see they're bright red. They're gonna get a little bit of a burgundy-ish color, like a deep burgundy. So for now we are simply gonna cook this, and I'm gonna lower the heat on this to like a medium low, and I'm gonna allow it to cook for a little while. Like I said, it's gonna go, I'm gonna say roughly around 5 minutes or so, but I'll check back with you guys in a second with that. I want you to see how the chilies have changed colors. Do you see? So you see how my garlic has changed color? About that time, I shut this off, and we're gonna let it cool just slightly before we blend it, because if not we can get burned, so we gotta be very careful. So I'm gonna grab my chilies and I'm gonna put them in my blender with the garlic, and I'm gonna put this into my blender. Well, it's in the blender now, but I'm gonna process this off camera. I'm gonna add a little bit of the oil. Carefully we do this. We do not want to get burnt. Just want to quickly give you a quick show of what the oil looks like. Okay, you still got all the pieces of the actual chilies directly in there. You see them? So we're gonna take this and put it in a bowl. This is super spicy, so those are for the ones that like spice. And this, I like to add it to my pozole. It gives it the greatest flavor on earth. Anyways, I cut some lemon wedges or lime wedges. I'm also going to be using some cabbage, shredded cabbage, a coleslaw mix that I bought. You could use lettuce or whatever you like of your choice, but I'm using cabbage because it's what I prefer. So I am putting my poached chicken. It's gonna cook a little while longer, but it's pretty much cooked. Remember, it still needs to cook a little longer. I'm gonna put the bone back into my my stock pot and let the flavors continue there for a moment. I'm adding the rest of the chicken pieces that I have in there. Just adding the chicken. This is just a cilantro. You could either leave it or remove it or whatever you like. Adding a little bit of that in here, and the reason I'm putting it in here is because what we're gonna do now is just gonna grab a hand blender. You could just do it by hand, and I'm just gonna shred the chicken. Okay, see the chicken? So we shred it this way. That way you get all the pieces to look the same. Okay, so we're gonna stop it. And I want you to, just to see really quickly so you get shredded pieces as much as you can. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab our stock and that we just did, and we're going to shred it. I'm sorry, we're going to strain it. And then I'll show you what I'm gonna do next. Okay, so I'm sorry, the my camera just kind of went on me. But in here I put in the stock from the actual when we cooked the chicken. I strained it and we added the stock. We also added in here the shredded chicken, and we added the can of hominy. Now in here we're also going to add the bag of the large corn kernels that I told you. We're going to add that, and just because I like to find a lot of corn in here, so that's what we have. We're also going to add a little bit more of chicken stock that I've already pre-made. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in the can here. And we're just going to add a little bit more chicken stock. Now, what I want you to see is that we need to let this come up to temperature. It's going to come up to a boil and allow all the corn to get all its flavors. We're going to taste. Okay. Oh, it's so good. We're going to add a little bit of chicken base. Roughly about a tablespoon. We're going to add oregano because oregano makes this dish. Oregano. We're going to add a little bit of black pepper. It's all on you whether you like a lot or a little bit. I'm going to add some comino. The same old flavors all over again. And we are going to allow this to cook for just a little while longer. Look at all the pieces of chicken that are in there. This is going to be really good. So what we're going to do, we're going to allow this, like I said, to come to temperature. Make sure that the hominy, the frozen one that we added, the big ones, these here, make sure those are tender. And so we're going to let this come to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it for approximately maybe 20 to 30 minutes. I kind of did forget to tell you that I added some chopped up onions to this. Maybe about a handful of chopped onions. I did white onions. This is cooking beautifully. Take a look. So we still got a little while to go, but we are cooking. I will adjust flavors as I go. Oh, this is going to be so good. Anyways, I'll show you once I'm done with it. Okay, so our pozole is ready. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to serve into a deep bowl. Okay, so we're going to serve. And I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to show you the fixings to go with that. Okay, so I have my cabbage, look at me. My pozole here. And in my pozole, this is the way I like to eat it. You could do radishes. I'm not a radish person, okay? Dead honest. So I have my, see if I can show you. The oil that we made. So what I'm gonna do is just put a little, depends how spicy you like it. You drizzle a little bit of that oil, the spicy oil. Then we grab some lime and we're going to lime it up. I then grab, I like the coleslaw mix, so I add the cabbage slaw mix to the top, and then I grab some white onions and I add my white onions to it. And then if you want to be a little bougie, you know, you want to try to be a little bit like extra with it, you don't have to do this. This is me being extra. I'm gonna add some alfalfa sprouts just to make it cuter. And this, my people, is my pozole recipe. This is just the way I make it, my way. Everyone's got their way. I'm not Mexican, I'm Puerto Rican, but this is one of my dishes that I really enjoy. A lot of people do it in pork. I'm not a big pork person, so I just do it with chicken. This is the easy way because I don't have time to be cooking the dried corn. So I am doing it just like this. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for spending time with me here at Maddie's Kitchen. Hope you liked this recipe. Let me know if you try it. And I will see you guys on the next video. But I'm going to ask you to please hit that notification bell. Please hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. Give it a like. After you give it that like, let me know down the bottom. Just really quick. Say, hey, Maddie, or say, oh, I like this recipe, or I don't like this recipe. Hey, you might like it, you might not. But just leave me a little comment below. Just let me know you watch. God bless you. Bye.